Bonsoir, dear traveler. Before we drift into the tranquil dreamscape of France, allow me, Professor Dozesworth, to gently ask you a small favor. If you find yourself soothed, charmed, or perhaps even whisked away by tonight's slumberous voyage, please do subscribe to this channel. It's a small click for you, but a grand merci for me and our growing community of dreamy wanderers around the globe. Now then, pull up your coziest covers, take a long, deep breath, and let us begin. Tonight, our journey floats across a land stitched with vineyards, lavender fields, alpine peaks, and golden coasts. A country where history brushes your shoulder at every turn and beauty sighs softly in the breeze. Ah, welcome to France, but not the France of airports and deadlines. No, we drift through the heart of her elegance, the hush of her cathedrals, the poetry of her countrysides. We begin, naturally, in Paris, but not the Paris of plane tickets, turnstiles, and crowded cafes. No, this is a Paris that only reveals itself under moonlight and quiet breath. The city sighs under a sky of midnight blue, and every rooftop seems to lean just slightly inward, as if to whisper stories to one another. You drift over the Seine, its waters dark and shimmering like liquid velvet. It hums with the memory of poets and painters, revolutionaries and lovers. Each bridge arches gracefully, stone hands reaching across time. Pont Alexandre III glistens in gold and silence, its lamplight glowing like distant stardust, and its statues, winged horses, nymphs, lions, stand frozen mid-thought. In a few moments, the screen will fade to a gentle black to help quiet your mind and deepen your rest. But my voice shall remain, a soft lantern lighting the path through your imagination. To your right, Notre Dame breathes in the night. Even in slumber, she is magnificent. Her towers loom like old gods, her stained glass dark now, but humming with the memory of candlelight. The gargoyles watch you pass, not with menace, but with the patient weariness of ancient things. But let us go deeper. Beneath the city's shining bones, there lies another Paris, a darker one. We drift downward now, beneath the boulevards, into the catacombs of Paris. The temperature drops ever so slightly, but your body is warm and still. The passageways tighten, the air turns still, and suddenly we are in the ossuary. Here, over 6 million souls rest, their bones stacked like silent prayers. Skulls stare out from walls like relics of forgotten lullabies. Femurs lie like logs in perfect alignment, symbols of a city too crowded to bury its dead above. But there is no fear here, only peace. The dead do not disturb the dreamers, they protect them. The bones, though ancient, feel familiar, as if they've been waiting for someone to remember. As we rise again into the open air, we emerge beside the Grand Opera Garnier, a palace of velvet and gold. Its marble staircases swirl like the folds of a gown, and inside, the great chandelier sleeps above an empty hall, dreaming of overtures and echoing applause. A ballerina's slipper lies forgotten on a bench. The velvet seats hold the memories of thousands of heartbeats. It is silent now, but the hush feels sacred, not empty. The opera house rests, waiting for the next story to awaken. Further west, we float above the Avenue des Champs-Élysées. Gone are the crowds. What remains is the glimmer of quiet elegance. Trees line the boulevard like drowsy sentinels, their leaves fluttering gently in the evening breeze. At the end, The Arc de Triomphe stands tall and proud, a sleeping lion at the edge of dreams. Names carved into its surface soften in the moonlight, and the eternal flame at its base flickers on, a heartbeat for the memory of bravery. Through neighborhoods, we wander, Le Marais, once home to nobility, now a nest of galleries and ancient homes. The half-timbered buildings lean like old friends, and narrow lanes beckon us to drift further inward. We pass closed boulangeries, the scent of crusty bread and almond croissants still lingering in the breeze. Let us pause a moment in the quiet of Place des Vosges, the oldest planned square in Paris. Its symmetry soothes the soul. The gas lamps cast puddles of golden light, and a single book lies forgotten on a wrought iron bench. Perhaps you pick it up, not with your hands, but with your mind, and it opens not to a story, but to a feeling, warmth, nostalgia, something tender you thought you'd lost. Higher now, to Montmartre. We follow the funicular track like a slow heartbeat, up the hill to the glowing dome of Sacré-Cœur. From here, the entire city stretches below like a sleeping beast wrapped in lights. Artists' ghosts still linger near the Place du Tertre. A canvas leans against a wall, half finished, as if the painter simply walked away to dream and never came back. We slip between open shutters and through attic windows. Inside, someone has left a single candle burning beside a half-drunk cup of tea and a dusty typewriter. The scene feels like a memory you never lived, or perhaps like one you left behind in another life. There is music now, soft, uncertain, played on an old accordion from somewhere along the Rue des Martyrs. It mixes with the scent of rain on stone, the rustle of ivy, the warmth of wood smoke. Paris is not quiet, she is just humming softly in her sleep. In the Latin Quarter, the ghosts of students murmur from park benches and steps. Their debates in philosophy and poetry still cling to the cobblestones. A solitary bookshop, perhaps Shakespeare and Company, stands closed, its window glowing faintly with fairy lights. Inside, a cat naps atop a stack of books, and the scent of yellowing pages fills the air like incense. But Paris is not just within the city limits. Our dream extends outward effortlessly to the gardens of Versailles. Though technically outside the city, tonight they are but an extension of your imagination. The palace sleeps under moonlight, its mirrored hall glowing faintly, the ghosts of royalty and rebels drifting past marble busts and flickering candelabras. The gardens stretch like a lullaby, every hedge pruned to perfection, every fountain frozen mid-dance. In this dream version of Versailles, you are alone, or rather, you are the only one awake. The statues smile quietly. The swans glide by without a sound. Time here does not tick, it exhales. As the sky lightens ever so faintly toward morning, we drift gently back over the city. The rooftops, endless like pages of a closed book, rustle slightly in the breeze. The Eiffel Tower shimmers once again, not to impress, but simply because it can. You are not a tourist here. You are part of the night. You are a note in the city's lullaby. And Paris, elegant, eternal Paris, holds you close as you float deeper into sleep. Ah, now we leave behind the delicate hum of Paris and follow the gentle curve of the River Loire, slipping like a whisper into the verdant heart of France, a land of kings, poets, and time-worn chateaux dreaming beneath the stars. The Loire Valley does not boast. It doesn't need to. It unfurls its beauty slowly, like a silk ribbon. Beneath moonlight and mist, the countryside appears enchanted. Rolling hills cradle rows of vineyards, their leaves catching starlight like dew. The air smells faintly of crushed time, distant rain, and earth warmed by memory. And then, rising out of the fog like a dream remembered, comes Château de Chambord. Oh, what a marvel! Its spiraling towers and Renaissance facades shimmer under a silver sky. Designed in part by Leonardo da Vinci, its double helix staircase seems to twist through time itself. You can almost hear the rustle of gowns, the quiet clink of goblets, the laughter of courtiers echoing across the vaulted halls. But tonight, the castle sleeps, and we float silently by, like ghosts with nowhere urgent to be. The river Loire winds lazily beneath us, moonlight skating across its surface. We follow its meanders to Château de Chenonceau, the lady's castle, so delicately arched over the river Cher, it seems to hover above the water. Built and beautified by powerful women through the centuries, Diane de Poitiers, Catherine de Medici, it bears a quiet grace as if it knows it is loved. Its reflection, near perfect in the still water, is like a doorway into a dream within a dream. Beneath its arches, the river whispers to sleeping swans. The gardens beyond, once roamed by queens, now lie tucked beneath velvet shadows. If you listen closely, you may hear the faint rustle of gowns through hedgerows or the soft laughter of ladies walking arm in arm through the moonlit maze. We drift further still, past fields striped with grapevines and sunflowers turned silver in the dark. Tiny villages, no more than pinpricks of golden light, appear and disappear like fireflies. Cats stretch languidly across stone thresholds. Wooden shutters creak softly in the night breeze. Somewhere, a violin plays, perhaps real, perhaps only imagined. In the town of Amboise, the castle rests above the riverbank like a slumbering lion. Leonardo da Vinci is said to be buried here, his mind forever entwined with this gentle valley. His spirit feels present in the symmetry of gardens, in the soft murmur of fountains, in the stillness that cradles the soul like a feather. And then, a sight like a tale told by candlelight, Château d'Ussé, said to be the very inspiration for Sleeping Beauty's castle. Its towers and turrets seem to pierce the clouds themselves, their shadows long and poetic. Ivy climbs its walls like time reclaiming stone. We pause here, as dreamers often do, to wonder what it would feel like to rest forever in a place so delicate, so held in enchantment. Nearby, the gardens of Villandry rest beneath the stars, geometries of green stitched together like a lullaby of hedges. From above, they resemble a tapestry woven not by hands but by wind and patience. Lanterns glow along gravel paths, fountains gurgle quietly to themselves, and the maze, oh, the maze, waits for no footsteps tonight. We float onward through Saumur, where chalky white cliffs hide ancient wine caves and troglodyte dwellings. Here, underground rooms carved centuries ago still sleep, barrels lined up like soldiers at ease, oak-scented and quiet. The air is cool and fragrant. Even the wine rests, aging in the dark, dreaming of its future in crystal glasses and candlelit halls. A little further, the Abbey of Fontevraud rises from the stillness like a hymn. Home to the tombs of Eleanor of Aquitaine and Richard the Lionheart, it sleeps with a dignity that humbles the heart. Candles flicker in ancient corridors. The The stone seems to breathe with the dreams of the past. The cloisters are empty, yet full. You can almost hear the distant steps of monks, long vanished, their prayers still circling in the arches. And as we gently pass by villages with names like Chinon, Azay-le-Rideau, and Blois, time begins to loosen. Here the air feels older but not tired. Instead, it is wise, calm, and kind. It invites your breath to slow, your heart to soften. Above us, the sky deepens. Southward we go now, dear dreamer, leaving behind the forested chateau of the Loire and descending into a landscape where sunlight seems to have melted into the earth, a place painted in lilac, gold, and rosemary green. Welcome to Provence, where even the shadows smell sweet. Night has fallen softly here, but the land still glows. There's a warmth in the stones, a memory of heat held tenderly by old earth. Lavender fields stretch like rolling sea, endless waves of dusky violet swaying gently beneath the stars. The scent is soft, clean, almost sacred, an ancient lullaby for your breath. We drift low now, gliding just above the sleepy rooftops of Gordis, perched bravely on its limestone hill. Stone homes lean against each other like elders in quiet conversation. Wooden shutters are closed. A lone cat pads across a cobbled square. A fountain gurgles faintly beneath a fig tree, and wind chimes whisper in the breeze. Let us float further still to Roussillon, glowing red in the moonlight, its ochre cliffs lit with fire even at midnight. The earth here is rich with iron, and the colors seem impossible: crimson, saffron, rust, rose. As you glide past, your thoughts might brush against memories you never knew you had, of Roman sandals in dusty lanes, of artists with clay-stained hands, of sun-warmed bread and wine on a terrace with no name. In the distance, the ruins of Glanum, an ancient Roman city near Saint-Rémy, rest in dignified silence. Marble columns cast long shadows in the moonlight, like sentinels watching over time. The air here is thick with memory. Perhaps, if you listen carefully, you'll hear the footfalls of ghosts, not frightening but familiar, gentle, like distant ancestors nodding from beyond the veil of sleep. Ah, and there, a farmhouse nestled among rows of olive trees. You can see its shutters ajar, letting in the night's perfume. Somewhere inside, a candle flickers and the creak of a rocking chair echoes faintly beneath a beamed ceiling. No rush, no urgency, just the rhythm of breath and earth and memory. We follow the scent of wild thyme and drift toward Aix-en-Provence, the city of 1,000 fountains. But now, in the hush of night, its marble basins lie still, and the streets echo only with the shuffle of wind through plane trees. The cafes are empty, save for a forgotten book resting on a tabletop, its pages ruffling slightly like a sleepy sigh. And beyond, Arles. The amphitheater sleeps now, cradled in moonlight. You may recall Van Gogh wandered here, driven mad by light and beauty and longing. But tonight, there are no wild brushstrokes, only calm. The ghost of a Roman senator might be wandering the arena, robes brushing the stone. Or perhaps a lion dreams still beneath the sands. We pass a small vineyard outside Châteauneuf-du-Pape, its rows dark and orderly beneath the stars. A farmer's boots rest by the door. A weathered hat hangs on a nail. Grapes heavy with promise cling to the vine. The land is patient here, It knows how to wait, and in its silence it teaches your body how to let go. Now higher still we rise above the Luberon mountains, where stone villages cling to the cliffs like dreams etched into limestone. Bonnieux, Lacoste, Ménherbe, names that roll like lullabies. You may see a bell tower standing proud against the stars, or a crooked path winding down into fields of golden wheat. A candle flickers in a monastery window. The monks, long asleep, dream of psalms and morning dew. Cicadas chirp in their sleep, the rhythm of the land thrumming even in the silence. A soft wind rustles through the cypress trees. And far in the distance, the peaks of the Montagne Sainte-Victoire shimmer, blue and silver. The very mountain Cézanne painted over and over again, trying to capture its quiet majesty. But tonight, you don't need canvas or brush. You're here, floating, wrapped in its presence. Below us now, a lavender distillery, silent save for the breeze passing through copper stills. The scent, distilled even in the dark, rolls up to greet you. Breathe it in, let it drift through your limbs like a calming tide. And just as we think we've seen it all, we pass over a quiet abbey, nestled in a hollow surrounded by fields of violet bloom. Senanque Abbey. Its stone walls, hundreds of years old, hold the breath of monks and bees and centuries of prayer. Its roof shines faintly in the moonlight. You can almost hear the echo of Gregorian chant floating through cloisters now claimed by moss and silence. Here, in this sacred hush, your body remembers its rhythm. Your breath deepens. Your pulse slows. The hum of worry fades away, replaced by the soft lull of cicadas, the deep murmur of old stone, and the sweet perfume of a land at peace with itself. This is Provence, not the Provence of postcards or travel guides, but the Provence that lives between breaths, in the warmth of the soil, the hush of lavender, and the glow of starlit silence. Let it hold you now. Let it wrap you in its timeless slumber. And when we return, we'll drift even further, perhaps into the snow-draped hush of the French Alps, or the cliffside calm of the Riviera. But for now, rest. Provence will keep watch. Now, dear traveler, we rise. Higher and higher, we float into the embrace of the French Alps, where the very air seems to hum with ancient stillness. Beneath us, the world grows small. The roads vanish into forests. The vineyards curl away behind the horizon. And what remains is a landscape untouched, unhurried, and ageless. Here, in this frozen cathedral of stone and sky, sleep settles differently. It falls like snow, gently, steadily, until everything is wrapped in a quiet so complete. It becomes its own kind of music. The peaks rise like slumbering titans. Mont Blanc, the white monarch, looms in the distance, noble, proud, and eternal. Its crown of ice glistens beneath the moonlight, and wisps of cloud kiss its summit. As if paying homage, we drift slowly over a small chalet nestled in a snowy valley near Megève. Its chimney releases a lazy plume of smoke into the night air. Inside, fire crackles softly. A woolen blanket lies folded on a pinewood bench. There is no television, no clamor, only the murmur of embers and the tick of a wooden clock. This is a home that belongs to winter, built to cradle the cold and to invite deep, uninterrupted rest. Farther on, we reach Chamonix, cradled at the foot of Mont Blanc. The town, bustling by day with skiers and laughter, now slumbers beneath a thick blanket of snow. Lamplight flickers behind frost-laced windows. The mountains tower protectively above. Somewhere in the distance, a snow owl calls, her voice floating like a lullaby across the frozen fields. Let us glide over an alpine lake, Lac Blanc perhaps, now frozen and smooth, a mirror of starlight. The pines surrounding it stand still, their branches heavy with snow. Everything here is hushed, reverent. Even the wind tiptoes. We drift above trails that once carried shepherds and poets, now blanketed, waiting. Every footstep, every whisper is absorbed by the snow, nature's most tender eraser. You can feel your thoughts slow to match the rhythm of this place, deliberate, soft, unhurried. Just beneath us lies a glacier, its surface cracked like ancient porcelain. It breathes, slow and deep, shifting imperceptibly through the centuries, and though it speaks no words, its presence is felt, vast, patient, eternal. There is something profoundly comforting about that, knowing some things like this glacier will remain exactly as they are for lifetimes to come. Now we come to Annecy, the so-called Venice of the Alps. Its canals sleep quietly beneath arched stone bridges. The old town is still, its pastel buildings dusted with snow like confections waiting in silence. A swan glides under the moonlight. A shutter creaks, then settles. As we pass over rooftops, you might catch the sound of an old music box playing faintly from within a nursery, its lullaby winding down, its tiny dancer pausing mid-turn. Somewhere nearby, a child sleeps soundly beneath a thick quilt, their cheeks warm from the fire, dreaming of snowmen and sleigh rides. We rise again into the upper reaches of the mountains, past Val d'Isère and Les Deux Alpes, alpine villages carved into the landscape like hidden treasures. Ski lifts hang motionless, their cables singing softly in the breeze. The peaks around us glitter under the starlight, every ridge a frozen brushstroke in nature's masterpiece. Above us, the sky is so clear you can see forever, the Milky Way arched like a cosmic bridge overhead. Shooting stars flash silently, tracing wishes across the heavens. You may feel as though you are no longer just sleeping, but floating between worlds, held aloft by snow and stars. Let us linger here for a moment. You are safe in the silence. The cold cannot reach you. You are wrapped in layers of imagined wool and feather, of dreams and lullabies. The mountains speak only in hushes and heartbeats. Even time feels frozen, content to wait. And now, a small chapel high on a ridge. A candle burns in its window. Inside, wooden pews sit empty. A violin leans against a stone altar, its strings still humming with the last note played at vespers. The mountain wind circles the steeple, whispering through its bell like a prayer. And further still, at the edge of the world, a mountain refuge, no larger than a cabin, perched precariously on a snowy ledge. Inside, a journal sits open on a table, its pages gently fluttering in the night breeze. A lantern sways from a beam. There are no visitors now, only dreams that drift in like snowflakes and melt gently onto the floor. This is the Alps, not merely a place, but a feeling, a deep exhale, a long-held sigh, the sound of snow falling in a forest at midnight, the comfort of being small in the presence of something so grand and yet so gentle. You do not have to think here. You do not have to do. Only rest. Only breathe. Let the snow carry your thoughts like feathers on the breeze. Let the stillness hush the echoes in your mind. And let the night, vast, ancient kind, hold you, for soon we'll descend again. Perhaps to Brittany's moonlit shores or to the perfume-kissed air of the French Riviera. But for now, let the Alps be your cradle. Let us now drift north toward the cool, salt-tinged air of Normandy, a land of gentle cliffs, rolling meadows, and memories stitched into every stone and shore. We arrive not with the pounding of boots or the roar of history, but with the hush of waves. The world here moves slower. The wind carries stories instead of sound, and the sea itself seems to exhale, as if remembering something. Below us lies the vast expanse of Omaha Beach, now empty, silent, and silvered by moonlight. There are no crowds, no ceremony, just the whisper of the tide brushing the shore. The same tide that once bore ships and struggle, now only brings sleep and stillness. If you listen closely, you may hear something, not voices of battle, but the deep, eternal sigh of peace reclaimed. The white crosses at Colville-sur-Mer stand in precise, respectful rows, not cold, but luminous, bathed in starlight. They are not reminders of death, but of honor, of stillness, of a world that once wept and now dreams in softer tones. We float inland, above hedgerows and stone cottages warmed by fireplace glow. Fields stretch out like patchwork quilts, stitched with lines of apple trees and stone walls. A fox trots silently beneath us. A window flickers with candlelight. A wooden spoon rests in a bowl of cider stew. And somewhere, a lullaby hummed by a grandmother as she rocks a child to sleep in a creaking chair. We pass Bayeux, where the great tapestry still slumbers behind glass, its threads carrying the stories of kings and conquest. But tonight, even that ancient embroidery seems to sleep. The figures, stitched in silence for nearly 1,000 years, appear restful in the quiet dark. The cathedral looms nearby, its spires softened by fog, bells hushed, organ silent. The stone is cool but not cold. It feels like a place that remembers warmth. Let us continue westward, through mist and memory, until a great shadow rises from the marshes. Ah yes, there it is, Mont Saint-Michel. Like a dream balancing on the very edge of waking, this mystical island abbey floats between sea and sky. The tide has retreated, leaving mirrored sands that reflect stars like scattered pearls. The abbey, high on its rocky pedestal, glows faintly in the moonlight, a beacon for dreamers, pilgrims, and poets. We drift closer. Inside, candlelight flickers behind ancient stained glass. The cloisters lie still, their arches casting long shadows on mossy stone. Monks no longer walk these halls, yet you may hear the echo of their footsteps. Or perhaps it is only your own heart, softened by awe. Down below, a narrow lane of medieval houses curves like a whisper up toward the summit. Wooden signs creak in the salty breeze. A shutter slaps softly. Somewhere, a lone traveler sleeps in a tiny room with a sloped ceiling and a quilt of blue and white. Perhaps they too are dreaming of you. As we glide higher, the world falls away. The sea surrounds us on all sides, an endless hush, an ink-black quilt stitched with moonlight, and above, only stars. There is no time here, no urgency, just the hum of centuries and the slow turning of tides. Now let us wander east, toward the Pays d'Auge, where the countryside rolls like a lullaby. Timbered farmhouses dot the land like sleepy cattle, and orchards stretch toward the horizon. The scent of Calvados apples floats on the breeze, sweet, crisp, and just slightly spiced. Even the trees seem to drowse, their limbs heavy with ripened fruit. A gentle mist rises from the fields, and in it, we pass a cider mill. Shutters closed, barrels stacked, the press quiet until morning. But tonight, the air smells of damp wood and fermenting fruit. An old barn owl watches from the rafters. Crickets chirp in the grass. It is not lonely here, only quiet. We pass through Honfleur, its harbor calm, boats rocking gently in place, ropes creaking softly like lullabies sung in rope and wood. The reflections of old pastel houses dance lightly in the water, blues, ochres, roses, all blurred and beautiful in the still canal. Somewhere, a piano plays behind closed windows, a slow, thoughtful melody, perhaps Debussy, perhaps a dream. Even the artists sleep tonight. Let us not wake them. Now inland, through winding roads flanked by tall hedges and stone walls. We drift over old churches, their roofs mossy and curled like sleeping cats. We follow the River Orne, its surface black glass, disturbed only by the occasional leap of a trout or the whisper of willow branches trailing through its current. We arrive in Camembert, yes, a real village, tiny, sleepy, and content. A single streetlight casts a buttery glow on the corner of a cheese shop, now closed, but inside, wheels of creamy Camembert rest on wooden shelves, soft and round like little moons. They too are waiting for dawn, for dreams. And so are we. The land of Normandy is vast, in memory, in meaning, and in beauty. But it never shouts, it never demands, it simply invites. It offers stories if you wish to hear them, but it also offers silence. And tonight we choose the silence. Let the soft mist rock you like a cradle. Let the tide wash gently over your thoughts. Let the moonlight warm the edges of your breath, and let this land of history, of heroism, of hearth and harbor be your refuge. Sleep well, dear traveler. There are still other regions to visit, but for now, Normandy wraps you in a quilt of time and tide. At last we arrive at the southern edge of dreams, where the sea sighs with warmth and time drapes itself in linen and lavender. Welcome to the French Riviera, or as the locals say with a twinkle in their eye, the Côte d'Azur, the Azure Coast. Here the Mediterranean doesn't crash or roar. It lulls, it hums. Its waves don't call attention. They simply exist, like background music in a sunlit memory. This is not a place of urgency, but of surrender. Surrender to beauty, to stillness, to the deep exhale of being. Our sleep ship glides gently over Nice, the unofficial heart of the Riviera. From above, the Promenade des Anglais curves gracefully like a crescent moon laid on velvet. Palm trees line the waterfront, swaying slightly in the night breeze, tall and lean, as if stretching toward the stars. Below, the pebbled beach is deserted, just footprints and foam. The city glows in honeyed tones, not flashy but content. Behind shuttered windows, someone reads a book by candlelight. A couple finishes a quiet meal on a balcony, wine glasses half full, laughter tucked between yawns. The scent of grilled fish, citrus blossoms, and ocean salt lingers in the air, blending like a perfume too delicate to bottle. We drift eastward toward Aix, a village pinned like a diamond to a cliffside high above the sea. Cobbled streets spiral upward through stone arches and ivy-laced walls. Everything here seems older than memory, yet perfectly preserved, like a dream revisited 100 times. We pass the famous exotic garden perched at the peak where statues gaze outward into infinity. From this height, the sea below looks like a sheet of satin, silver, endless, silent. Even time itself seems to pause here, just for a moment to take in the view. In Monaco, the lights shimmer like scattered jewels, soft, not harsh. The casinos have long since gone quiet. The yachts, those floating palaces, are docked and dim. Their ropes creak gently in rhythm with the harbor's tide. In the palace atop the hill, even the wind tiptoes. We fly low over the old town, or Monaco Ville, where medieval buildings cluster together like companions in an old storybook. A cat whines between the legs of a marble statue. A bell tower chimes once, then rests. The world is hushed, now westward, toward Cannes. The famous red carpet is long rolled up, the spotlights switched off. The theaters sleep. But the sea, oh, the sea. It continues its slow applause along the shore. Gentle, enduring, eternal. We pass over shuttered villas, their gardens perfumed by jasmine and night-blooming roses. A pool reflects the moon. A hammock swings, empty but inviting. Somewhere nearby, someone plays a slow waltz on a piano. The notes spill out the open window and join the stars. We pause above the Lorraine Islands, just off the coast. There, the Abbey of Lorraine on Saint-Honorat sleeps under a canopy of cypress and pine. The monks are long abed, their chants echoing only in the mind. A candle flickers in a high window. The surrounding sea wraps the island like a lullaby written in water. Let us glide further down the coast, toward Antibes, a town hugged by ramparts and crowned by quiet joy. The old fortress, once a sentinel against pirates, now stands peaceful and dignified. Below in the harbor, sailboats bob like cradles. Their masts sway gently, creaking in rhythm, as if they too are dreaming of voyages and return. We drift over the Picasso Museum, resting in Chateau Grimaldi. Inside, brushstrokes slumber on canvas. The genius of color and form waits silently in the moonlit dark. Even creativity needs to sleep, dear traveler. Now, onward to Saint-Tropez. Ah, the name conjures sun-drenched glamour, yes, but at night it tells another tale. The crowds are gone, the yachts docked, the cafes closed, but the spirit remains, not bold now, but soft. A quiet hush settles over the harbor, where small fishing boats nestle beside their grander cousins. Lanterns sway gently overhead, casting golden halos on the water's surface. The pastel facades of the old village are warm, even in shadow, pinks, ochres, and coral tones lit softly by the night. Through open shutters, gauzy curtains dance in the sea breeze. A radio murmurs a chanson from decades past, slow, sleepy, sweet. And behind the town, hills rise quietly into the Massif des Maures, cloaked in pine and cork oak. Here, nature begins to reclaim the Riviera, less polished, more primal. The air is resinous, the wind cooler. Wild boars rustle gently in the underbrush. And the sky. Oh, the sky. So wide and filled with stars, it feels like it could swallow time whole. Let us pass briefly through the perfumed town of Grasse, where even the moonlight smells of tuberose and mimosa. Flower fields rest beneath linen sheets of mist, their petals tucked in for the night. Jasmine vines curl up stone staircases. Roses sleep closed. And from ancient distilleries, the soft scent of essential oils lingers in the stones. We float further inland, toward a hidden villa surrounded by olive trees and whispering cypresses. The shutters are closed, but inside, a writer has fallen asleep at their desk, quill resting in hand. The page half filled with a story, never quite finished. But that's all right. The best stories, like the best dreams, are sometimes left incomplete. And so, dear traveler, let the Riviera soothe you with its salty lullaby. Let the sea rock you, gently, endlessly. Let the scent of orange blossoms and warm stone linger on your breath. Let the lights twinkling in the hills remind you that even in sleep, the world remains beautiful and waiting. This is the French Riviera, not of jet-setters and headlines, but of silence, moonlight, and dreams. Sleep well. And now, dear dreamer, our lantern dims. France, a land so full of stories, has quietly shared hers with you tonight. From the hush of Parisian moonlight to the sigh of lavender fields in Provence, from the alpine stillness above Chamonix to the silk blue shores of the Riviera. You've wandered softly through time and wonder. Perhaps you remember the rustle of old books along the Seine, or the echo of hoofprints painted in prehistoric caves. Maybe it was the scent of jasmine and grass that stayed with you, or the distant toll of a chapel bell along the Breton coast. Whatever you carry with you now, let it be light and lovely. Let it drift like a feather down into your subconscious, to be cradled gently by your dreams. You are safe here, held by memory and mist, rocked by the rhythm of old trains and older lullabies. You have traveled far without moving the magic of the mind, and now your body can follow, sinking deeper into rest. Before you slip fully into the velvet dark, may I whisper just one more thing. If tonight's journey brought you peace, if it eased your worries, slowed your thoughts, or made you feel even a little less alone, please do subscribe to this channel. That simple act helps keep our journeys afloat, and it ensures we can meet again, somewhere new, under different stars. So until we voyage again, across deserts or oceans, through temples or tundras, I remain your humble guide. Professor Dozesworth, at your service, and forever dreaming beside you. Bonne nuit, sweet traveler. Sleep gently and sleep well.